Good morning, everybody. Another episode of the Keep Going podcast, Athletes Shining a Light on Mental Health. A baseball full boat podcast today. David Mitchell, loving the beautiful backdrop, man. Where you at right now?
I'm out in Colorado right now. Yeah, I'm excited to be back on the episode. I was out of commission for the last couple of weeks, but this one's going to be a good one.
Well, blessed to have you back, Dave. What were you up to, dude? What was going on, man?
I was out of town the last couple of weekends. I was in San Francisco for a wedding, and then I went on a little rafting trip on the Colorado River. So, uh,
Not bad. Must be nice out there. You enjoy yourself or what?
yeah, it's good. It's nice.
I love it, man. Max, where you coming out of, dude?
Man, coming up, I'm in Evanston right now. Man, I'm just finishing up school, got summer baseball going on. So, just looking forward to the nice weather that we're starting to get.
Love it, man. Just to jog my memory, you're an Evanston guy. Like you went to Wild Kit Country. That was your high school growing up too. Were you always there? Did you move around a little bit? Let's start there.
Man, born and raised in Evanston, bleed orange and blue.
Yes, sir.
I still work and teach within the Evanston community right now currently. Um, it's awesome. I love it. From there, I've traveled a little bit outside for baseball, but outside of growing up wise, I've always stayed in the town.
All right. Well, I think it's always funny. Obviously, we're a faith podcast. We talk about God's timing, the universe timing all the time. It's regional season across, Elk Grove High School and Barrington High School and Wild Kit Country, like I alluded to. How was the high school program this year? And then a part B to that question, talk about your high school experience, man.
So the high school season for the boys this year just actually ended. They lost yesterday to GBN. Uh,
Yeah,
they were playing at Niles North for their playoff game. Again, high school sports in general is just a lot of fun, and like when you're in the playoffs, nothing beats it.
I agree.
Just having that atmosphere. Um, yeah, I played 2 years varsity at Evanston. I loved my experience while I was there. Great dudes, great coaching staff, and just being around that environment, I felt helped me grow as a player, and just helped me like move on to the next level.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And when you talk about the next level, Max, for those that don't know, yeah, obviously we found out in the prelude, this is your first podcast you've ever been on, man. So you have a story to tell. You get done with high school, you end up going the JUCO route first, or elaborate on that a little bit for the recruiting process side.
Yeah, so I would say I was a little bit of a late bloomer, especially I would say ending my junior year. I went in, I played with this summer team called the North Shore Yankees, who was ran by Tony Dawkins, great guy.
Shout them out. Shout them out.
Love TD. Has a couple boys that also played football that are in the football world as well. But he really helped me take like my baseball like career, or just I guess my level, to the next level. Basically, playing with him over the summer of my junior year, leading into my senior year, and when my senior year came around, I felt so prepared and ready. I mean, I knew where I was going. It took me a little bit to figure out what school I was going to go to. I wasn't getting a lot of interest from schools right away. And I knew, being the late bloomer that I was, like going into my senior year, kind of just like, that JUCO was just going to be the option for me. Um, the school that I ended up signing with was St. Louis Community College, Merrimack, down in Kirkwood. So I enjoyed my time there. So I went there for a year and a fall, and then I ended up transferring to Oakton
Come on, baby.
in
Come
the
on, baby.
wintertime. Good
Yep.
old Oakton Raiders, which are now the Owls. But man, I loved my time. I loved the kids and just the group of guys that I met when I was at Oakton. But that was kind of like my route. I didn't have a lot of interest from schools. And even after Oakton, again, like I had a few interests in a couple schools. So it's kind of just like a grind of just getting my name out there myself. I wasn't one of those kids, I would say junior, senior, or junior year, where I was playing in like a whole bunch of like, exposure camps. Like my parents weren't sending me to those types of things. I was just
Exactly.
playing like
Us either. Us
just
three,
local
obviously.
tournaments, and I'm again, everything happens for a reason. I was, spotted by St. Louis, and then whatever happened there, and I was able to find Oakton, which honestly was a blessing. It was close to home. And coming into Oakton, I mean, you guys had already had a whole fall before I even was there. So I came in late. So I was kind of just like this new guy on the team, even though I was a sophomore. And man, y'all opened your arms to me and I loved it.
Yeah, I just remember the energy, right? We talk about a shot in the arm. I look back at that team in Oakton and you look around the infield, I'll just shout some guys out. Fred Smart, Adam Warda, Tyler Albright, Gabe Acevedo. You had three catchers go on and play college baseball. The entire staff was signed, not even before their sophomore year, that second year of JUCO. And, even the pen was stacked, right?
Yeah.
So to bring someone like yourself in with that pedigree that fit in so well with our team during that time, that's why you're on the podcast today. Give me your favorite Oakton memory, and keep in mind it can be PG, it can be a little bit non-PG. We don't care. This is an open podcast, man.
Man, couple things come to mind. I mean, first, I also want to give a shout out to Copeland, man.
Oh, shout the
My guy
boy
is
out with the skis right now, baby.
tearing it up at NIU. I love
Yes.
what he's doing over there with that program, and I hope nothing but the best for the guy. I think he's playing again today at 12 or 1 o'clock.
Shout the boys out. Manifest it, man. Yep.
Um, I think one of crazy moment was probably when we were in Florida, and I think we got into a little scuffle with I don't even know what team it was, but Jake McCabe is the first person that pops into my head of being like
Yep.
that scrappy dude that was on our team that was just like a grinder and would like go to bat for anyone. And I don't know what the incident was, but again, like we got into it with another team, and like Jake was just like the first dude to like go to bat for anyone there. I was like, man, that's the guy. That's one of my top moments. And then again, honestly, hanging with the pitchers and like I know Copeland like would always do like fun stuff with us where
He
we
was so young at that time,
yeah, I mean, I
right? He
think
was always in the mix. We were playing flag football and
that's
stuff at the
exactly what I was going
facility.
to mention. It's
Yeah.
just like, and I bring that to like the kids that I have now that I'm coaching this youth group. We just try and talk about having fun. And just like the flag football that we would do with Copeland, just like the small, like silly things that just kept us loose. And like, we're here to play a game. You know what I mean? Even though it's like serious, but it's like, we're here to have fun at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think shout out Cope and shout out McCabe. I remember that trip in Florida. Like it's just great times.
Yeah.
But I think staying loose, especially in the mental health world, we're obviously a mental health podcast. If we're playing tight, if we're playing stiff as a board out there, we're not having fun. And two, to be very transparent, we're playing like shit most of the time.
Exactly.
If we go out there, play loose, play like water, understand that the work has already been done, and now we're just out there playing a kid's game, I think that gets beneficial. Dave, I saw that switch from you in high school going into college. You were a guy I remember very hard on yourself, very stiff at times. You were trying to get more mobile, more loose. Talk about that time for you, man.
Yeah, I still was like my freshman sophomore year. I still put a lot of pressure on myself, like playing and like trying to earn a starting spot when you have 40 guys on a roster or even more than that now with the recruiting that's going on. I definitely was, I put a lot of pressure on myself and I kind of allowed it to affect me a little bit in the fall, but I turned it into more of a belief in myself when I actually knew what I was doing, the work that I was doing after practice and in the morning and in the weight room and all that stuff. Once I started to believe that I'm actually worth playing on this team and deserved a starting spot, that's when my mindset switched.
100%. And Max is alluding to that, right? The preparation will lead to better results. But even if
100%.
it doesn't, you can go into those situations with confidence, knowing, all right, next ball's dropping in. I'm getting the next one, right? If on a team like Oakton, you are not the number one arm, Max.
No.
Like there were some dogs, but I love that you talked about how you had to scrap for everything. So talk about your time getting your innings and then moving on to the 4 year level.
Man, again, Dave, I love what you were mentioning because I think a lot of kids, especially junior, senior year, you're committed. You're just like, I'm that dude. Like, I'm that guy.
Yes.
I'm going to go to this 4 year. I'm going to go to this JUCO, whatever it is. And like, I'm going to be the guy still. And it's just like, it's a big reality check to a lot of those dudes when you get there. And, that's not necessarily the case, and you're really having to dig and you're really having to grind and, push through some adversity to kind of get what you want. You know what I mean? Um, and I think that hit me my freshman year of college in St. Louis. I definitely went in. I mean, I had an injury my senior year of high school, partially torn labrum. So I went down soon. And so I was recovering during the summer. So when I came into the fall, like that was my first time of getting innings since, my spring. And so it was just a big grind, and mentally it was not easy, not seeing myself in roles that I wanted to see myself in. And getting into Oakton, I just went in with, I'm going to give my best and I'm just going to try and find like where I fit in within this team. And I wasn't going to like force it. Again, at the end of the day, I wanted to be a starter, but if I needed to come out of the bullpen or I needed to come in certain situations, then that's what I was going to take. Um, but yeah, I was fortunate to where, I fit right in with the rotation and I was able to get some innings right away. Um, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome too. Just realizing once again, you don't have to be the one to make a huge impact. Doesn't mean we're not shooting for that every day, but I just mentioned we had a bunch of D1 bounce backs on that team, right? Like it probably wasn't feasible as a 19, almost 20-year-old to come in and be the absolute guy. When you get to the 4-year level, talk about that more in depth. Talk about maybe even the coaching side now that you're a part of as well.
Yeah, again, once you kind of get to that level, you're just pushing through the adversity. When I got to the 4-year level, I kind of had more of an idea of what my role was going to be
Yeah.
junior year. Senior year did not mix out the way that I wanted it to. I
Can
kind
you, yeah, can you talk openly about that? Because once again, like it's not going to always be perfect. So I
Oh,
want you to go into that.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I went into my fall senior year like I felt really good. I had a great summer. I thought that I did well enough in the fall to where they were telling me verbally like, "Hey, you're going to be this guy in the rotation." First game of the season, they threw me in a relieving role after one of our starters, and it did not go well for me. Like mentally, I mentally was not prepared to be in that role. So, that was just planning on my own end. I was kind of looking at myself as being the guy that was going on Sunday or Saturday or whatever the case may be. I was not expecting to pitch in a relief moment. And so from there, it just went downhill. I got taken out of the rotation and it kind of just was not going the way that I wanted throughout the rest of the school year. But, again, I was just pushing through, battling. There was times where I even was like questioning myself. I'm like, man, what am I doing wrong here? But at the end of the day, it just came down to communication with my coaches and just seeing like where they needed me and like where they saw me fit within the team to help them win. And just taking that and, sticking with it and just riding with it.
Yeah, and how about now? You're coaching some youth ball. What age group do you have? Where are you coaching? How you're enjoying that?
So I want to say this is almost 10 years of coaching youth baseball. I am coaching still again, EBSA, Evanston, Ride or
Oh,
Die.
you love that place, man.
Again, I love Evanston. Again, I started playing baseball at 10. So to go back and like coach in the same, fields and same area that like I grew up playing baseball, nothing beats it. But yeah, I'm coaching the youth level. I've been sticking around the ages of like 13 to 16.
Yeah.
I've done a couple 17, 18U teams in the past. But I love the age group that I'm at because I can have them, or I've had the opportunity to have them like 13, 14, and then I see them at the high school, so I get to build that relationship with them.
Yeah.
Um, which again, I think goes a long way when you're coaching these kids and, they get to see a familiar face around. They're like, okay, I know this guy. I can trust this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love it. I absolutely enjoy giving back to the community that gave to me. And just, dumping the knowledge that I've obtained throughout my years of playing college baseball and just being around other people to just help the kids. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, it's about helping them and helping them get wherever they want to go. And at the end of the day, like we were just talking about, having fun.
What a blessing, man. No, I love that. I'm going to kick it over to Dave here. We do something on the segment called David Mitchell's Mailbag. Dave, get it hot, dude. What questions you got for Max?
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about, like student athletes and their transition phases, going through high school to college or even 13, 14 to high school. If a student athlete is still listening right now and is maybe questioning their abilities, what would you want them to remember about belief and resilience and their worth?
Yeah, I mean, I always liked, I mean, especially if they're still playing that sport, I think it's important to take a step, like take a look in the mirror and be like, hey, you got this far. And that you've made it this far in regards to wherever you are within the sport or whatever sport that you're playing. And that similar to, again, sports, I mean, life is so similar to that, to where you're going to have your ups and downs and you're going to have your days to where, you may look at yourself and be like, I don't know why I'm doing this, or I don't know why I'm doing that. And I think it's important that, we do question ourselves and have those whys, but that we also persevere and just push through those moments, especially if we have ambitions to do those things. You know what I mean? Again, baseball or whatever sport you're playing, you're not going to have great days. You're not going to have the best days, but you are going to have those days. And I think it's important to take those small wins and run with them. You know what I mean? Not every day is going to be your best, but I think if you have a passion for something, I think you got to keep pushing for it. Because at the
Yeah,
end of the day, again, you're going to shine light on someone else, or you're going to be helping someone else along the ride.
no doubt. Don't quit when you're down. It might just be one decision, one move away, and that might just flip the switch for you or someone else. I like
Yeah.
that answer a lot.
100%. Again, we're allowed to feel those emotions. I think those are normal emotions that we feel, especially in times of doubt, like when we're down or whatever's going on outside of our sport, inside of our sport. But I think again, pushing through that, and again, when you have a good group of people around you on a team, a supportive team, and a supportive coach or teachers or whatever it is, I think they can definitely help too.
Yeah, for sure. What's the biggest thing you've learned throughout your journey around mental health?
Um, that's a great question. I think it's important to sometimes just take a step back and like do what's best for you. I think that we live in a world where there's this stigma of like, mental health isn't always like a real thing in sports, or that like, you're just like kind of being soft or whatever the case may be. But it's like, these things have like a large effect on like who we are as a people and like how we interact with others. And I think, it's important that we take a step back and do what we need to do to better ourselves as well, so that we can feel good within the moment. You know what I mean? Whether that's, again, like if you're someone that needs to sit down and play video games for 45 minutes after you get home, then like maybe that's something you need to do to relax a little bit if you're going to feel better after that. You know what I mean? I think it's just finding those small things that's going to help you feel more comfortable within yourself during those times.
Yeah. What do you do for your mental health? What are some things that you like?
Something that I've gotten really big into. I mean, I would say a few years ago, I was about 289. I'm down to 220. So I've
You
always
look good,
been,
dude. I was about to say you look good.
man, I've appreciated. I've always been a big weightlifting guy. Always been in the gym, even since high school. It's always been my playground. Playground. I'm ADHD, so like getting around and moving around is so important for me. So I would say that just exercise. I know that's not everyone's thing, but just moving a little bit always helps. Like even when I'm feeling like crap, I'm like, man, I'm gonna go to the gym and like walk a little bit, or I'll go outside and go for a run. So I would say that that's something that helps me. Um, and then maybe a little video games. I like to hit the sticks here and there. But I'm a guy that needs to be active and moving around. That's something that helps me in my mental.
Max, I
Yeah.
love it, man. I love it. I gotta ask you mine. I think the biggest preface of our podcast is the keep going moment. You see all the branding behind me. God willing, they've let me and Dave and Jackie run 100+ episodes now, which is crazy to think about. What's your keep going moment, man? What's something that the normal man would have got shaken down by that you got through and now you're telling your story?
Uh, Man, I think it's just that I have a story to tell, you know what I mean? And like if I stop now, then my story stops. And I think I got to keep going. And like, I have goals that I want to reach, that aren't going to happen right away, but I have to keep persevering through, these different streets and avenues that, we maneuver down in life, different road bumps, different tunnels, whatever it may be. Um, and that's my why. Also, I would say a big why for me would be my mom. Just making her proud, and making my family proud for the kid that they raised and the adult that I am now today. So yeah,
Amazing segue. And I wanted to ask, I'm going to give you 30 seconds here. I want, and you're about what, 32 now, Max?
yeah.
I want you to shout out everybody that's made this journey special for you in 30 seconds. Name as many people as you can.
Man, we got Dusty Bensko. We got man, there's man put on the spot right here.
Had to do it, man. We had to do it.
Ryan Copeland, Tony Dawkins, uh, Bob Sperlin. Man, all of my coaches just growing up, even like parents that like were friends of my parents that like supported me through my journey. Man, my aunt has been a huge person on my corner. Um, Honestly, all the players that I played with, like even dudes that like I wasn't close with, again, like they all had some sort of like impact that's helped shape and like mold like my thoughts and like who I am today. I don't think 30 seconds is enough time to like mention all the people who've like had that impact on me.
I
But yeah,
think you're doing a good job, man. I think you're
the
doing a good
people that I
job so
thought of
far.
right away were like the guys that like I think about coaching wise. I'm like, man, you all had a huge impact on me.
Think about this. If I just asked you that question on a script, man, it'd be so fake.
Yeah,
It would just be like you just bring a bunch of people and just read them off. Like, no, man, I want you to shout out the people. I love that you mentioned your mom and Cope and people that we talk about all the time. That's the impact. That's why we do it, dude. Like, that's why we do it. Like, I tell Dave all the time, the amount of impact my players have had on me and my teammates and my coaches. Dave played for me at Rock Valley, Max,
okay,
and we're doing a mental health podcast now. You know, like this
yeah.
is why we do this
The
stuff.
world's so small.
Yeah,
World's
it's a
so small.
beautiful thing, man. Leave us with this. You got a kid struggling, not doing well, athlete, non-athlete. What would you tell him to get him back to neutral?
Man, I think I would just try and figure out what's going on. Again, I think building relationships with people is the most important thing, especially being a teacher. I think when kids and athletes have your trust and know that you care for them and you're like, hey, what's going on? Like, what can I do to like help you in this moment? What can I give you? What do you need from me? I think that flips the light bulb. Again, it's not going to work for everyone, but I think when you build that relationship and you keep trying with those kids, I think it does flip that switch. And again, your question I think is loaded because it's not easy to get someone to fall back and feel more relaxed just because I walked up to you and said, hey, everything's okay. You know what I mean? I think
Mhm.
just sometimes being a little silly, being a little goofy. I mean, yesterday I had a baseball game and I went up to my pitcher and like I made some silly comment that he was talking about yesterday in practice. And then like the next three batters, like he struck out. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like it's
Mhm.
just about like being present, but also like not making the moment too big for those people. Cause it's like I was once in your shoes, and if I walked up to you and was like, hey, I need you to strike someone out, it'd be like, okay, well, I know you want me to do that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's just again finding some something funny to make someone maybe just laugh or just forget about whatever it is that they're thinking about.
Yeah, man, this has been awesome today, man. I would challenge you if you're going to stay in this game, which I know you will, to go tell your story and go and be out there on other podcasts and videos and whatever other platforms you're comfortable with. This is why we do this, man, because you're still in the game. How many years later, as a high school player, a top high school player, a top college player, and now in that youth space, being that light for others? Come on, man. I'm about to jump into 20 lessons today at our facility. I love
Yeah.
this shit, man. So
Love
thank you
working
for
with
all
you.
you do. Thank you for all you're doing in the community. I know that your community loves you. It's very prevalent. I could tell that right away. Dave, you send us home, dude.
Yeah, Max, thanks for coming on and shining some light in your story. And you definitely are an impact to this podcast and the people around you. So thank you for coming on and sharing your story.
Man, appreciate you, Dave. Thank you, O'Malley. Man, it's been awesome. And anytime you all want a podcast to back up, let me know.
I love it, man. We've come a long way from drinking beers over at the Oaks, man. I'll tell you that.
Man,
It's
facts. Big time.
different times, man. I love what we're doing now. I love the person that you are now, and I hope you keep being that light for others, man. Above all else, we got a beautiful day in the Chicago suburbs. Enjoy it. Baseball season is in full bloom, and everybody keep going. Thanks, everybody.
Go Cubs.
Yes, sir.